welcome once again to Working for Scale, episode 11.
Brought to you by Marvel Legends Retro, featuring the thing that now completes my Fantastic Four collection, and possibly my first Black Widow action figure. I don't know either.
Well, it feels like we should be, I don't know, somewhere in the later teens of the episodes, but unfortunately, we have taken a long-ass hiatus with very little reason for it to be this long. No. These things happen.
Okay, what are you talking about?
But, here we are again. And I feel like it might be so long, people don't even remember how we got here.
I do.
Well, let's hear it. How did we get where we are, and where even are we?
All right, so the party finds itself at this it's not really an underground market. It technically is literally an underground market, I guess you could say.
Yes, literally.
Literally. But last time we were tasked with finding this item for Rhyme, and we made it to where the item was, but there were some drow there, and we fought them, and unfortunately they decided to run away and take the item with them. But the dwarves that were helping us said they probably thought, they knew where it would be sold, which happened to be this market. And so we met with them the next day, and basically we went down into this market to try and acquire the item. We met with a vendor and sort of bluffed our way poorly into getting information from him. And eventually we met up with the proper people. We paid them 200 gold to see the item. And basically we had gotten to the point where we were actually viewing the item, with the understanding that we probably would be setting up like a later meeting if we were interested in purchasing the item.
Yeah. In the center of the room is the, I believe, pedestal with the item sitting atop it. Surrounding the room at various points are a mixture of some dwarven-looking men and women, and a series of elven women. Each of them is dressed in what look to be regalia that is fitting someone who is part of some sort of specific group, but they are definitely and clearly from two different groups as you look amongst them. The elven-looking people from one group, and the dwarven-looking people a part of a different group. You would safely be able to assume that these are probably either mercenaries or some kind of hired security to protect the item. There is only one visible way into the room to all of you. And the item that sits atop the pedestal is what looks to be kind of a fragmented piece of something. It's hard from the looks of it to ascertain what this could be a piece of. But it definitely has key jagged edges that look like they would fit into another piece of something. But to what, it's uncertain. The shape is still kind of a bit androgynous.
Just a friendly reminder, we need to roll hit points at some point.
Yes, we can do that now with that great reminder. Narissa, that is a reroll. All good across the board. No, perfect.
Oh wow, Barker did decent. You go.
Yeah, Debobe not so much.
No.
But the rest of the party did okay on hit points.
Excellent.
Indeed. It'll make this much harder to kill you. Disappointingly enough. Yeah, so the item sits upon the pedestal. You may examine it further as you wish.
Well, since I have no skills in appraise or anything like that, I will leave that to our plucky bard.
Yep. Eli, you can look over the item. You'll notice that it, seems to keep fingerprints pretty clearly. So there are a lot of dirty smudges all over it from where, the hands of who placed it here previously had put it here. It's kind of strange that for something going on display, nobody would have tried to wipe it down.
Can I sniff it?
You certainly can sniff it.
What does it smell like?
It smells... Let me think about this for a second. It definitely smells of metal. Do you have any ranks in knowledge metallurgy? Or...
No.
Okay. Or engineering?
Nope, I've dungeoneering.
No, you won't get it from
ranks
dungeoneering.
in it.
But no, aside from the metallic smell, there's kind of a, I don't know how to put this. You know the sensation that you would get years ago when you touch an old CRT screen, like an old regular tube TV? Oh, no. So there's a staticky feeling.
Like a static. I remember that.
And so that feeling kind of gets in your nose when you sniff at it. It's like a tingling all throughout your nose as you sniff at it.
Does their hair stand up?
No, it's only in the nose.
What color is it?
It is a bit of a silverish black color. Almost.
And what shape?
It doesn't really have a specific shape. It looks like it's a piece of something else, and it's hard to tell what it could be a piece of. Imagine that you just smashed a giant hunk of something into the wall and it shattered into a few different pieces. This is clearly a piece of something that's metal, but what it's a piece of, it's hard to identify. It's kind of jagged.
If I put my
Go ahead.
ear close to it, what does it sound like?
It is making a very, very, very faint sound. You can't quite tell what though. But it does, as you're listening to it, make you need a will save. Your hand kind of starts to move towards it, and you realize you should probably stop right before your hand kind of takes hold of it.
Okay, I'll let the next person have a turn.
Quick question. So I'm now up to 33 hit points. How do I get it to change the green disc?
Green disc. The green disc should be automatically updating.
Okay.
Your max HP is at 33. You have to set both your HPs.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, anybody else have anything they want to inquire about this? Any other skills they want to try in investigating?
I'm gonna try my use magic device.
You're gonna touch it? Because you do have to touch it to use magic device.
Ooh, I don't want to do that. Yeah.
There are a lot of guards.
Yeah, no, I'd rather not get stabbed. Okay. Should have thought about that.
Could I do any knowledge arcana on it?
Yeah, you certainly could.
Ooh, good thinking.
Wow. An incredible roll for a knowledge arcana there. There is some information you can get from this. Give me 1 sec. Let me pull up the detail.
The device known as the head exploder.
All right, so looking at this item, you'll sort of think back to certain teachings that you've had and certain things that you've learned over the last few years. You'll know that there's a very sought after item that has been fractured for some time. It was actually fractured when a series of groups all sort of had interest in this item. The story about what the item can do seems to vary from group to group that talk about it, with powers ranging from like changing the colors of certain things, changing the flavor of certain things, to like being able to change people from one type to another, with some rumors even saying like godlike abilities to change the very like layout of the surroundings around them, not like on a micro level, like literally being able to change the very atmosphere of an area. So like taking a desert and suddenly transforming it into a like dense forest within a matter of like seconds. These stories are thought to be overblown, largely because an item that powerful, if it was shattered like this, would probably cause a profound schism that would kill many people. But the reason for something being shattered in this way does sort of lend credence. There are stories of like the gods are very powerful spellcasters, like dissecting items into pieces and separating them to make sure that the items can never be used again by the wrong hands. So there may be some reality to that, but the very key thing, you know, is it does resonate with a lot of magical energy. And so that level of magical energy is not normal for most items you would see like your run-of-the-mill wizard make, or even like your well-seasoned wizard would be able to produce. But you know there are a lot of people looking very specifically for these pieces, and they would fetch a small fortune to those who know what they really are.
Small fortune that's out of the budget.
Any other questions?
We have a very tiny fortune.
Anybody have a praise skill?
Yeah. Hard to measure the magnitude of something like this anyway.
What about, could I use ride on it?
If you want to get on top of it, sure. I don't know what
I
effect
just
it'll
have
have
no-
until you try, so...
I have no other skills to use on it, I don't think.
Perhaps we should speak to the sellers, maybe make an arrangement.
You can't gauge anything about it, right?
No, not really. Oh. You could ask to speak to the seller or to put in a bid. But that is up to who you want to talk to and what you want to try.
It'd be helpful if we could just text Rhyme and find out our budget or something.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were actually thinking we would buy this. I thought we were going to fight and steal it. But it's hard to know like what we could say would be a competitive amount that they would show up with.
Is it an open auction? Like, in other words, can we see what other people are bidding?
It is not an open auction. It is a closed auction. You make your bid. You'd have to get more of the details outside of that, but you do know it's a closed bid. You can meet with the middleman, or I guess in this case, middlewoman that is handling the transaction. That will like help facilitate the exchange of the funds and make sure that like both parties are doing their due diligence.
Huh.
But that is something you'd have to inquire about and set up.
Let's meet with the middle person and see what happens. I mean, how bad could it be? At least we'll know how much we lose by if we can't afford it. I hate to sound pessimistic, but I'd rather go into this knowing than not.
All right. Who is able to ask to meet with the middle person?
We do have a group spokesperson.
So what language does this person speak?
Well, you need to first be able to speak with that person, so you need to know who to talk to get to that point.
Oh, fuck, we're not even there. Yeah, that's fine.
You've gotten to the point to view the item, but now to put in a bid is the next sort of step in things.
And you said the people in the area were dwarves and elves.
Yes.
But does anything distinguish who might be in charge, or?
No, not particularly. They all are dressed very similar to each other. Maybe the person outside of the door. Maybe the person outside of the door who let you in here.
They got a pencil behind their ear and a clipboard. Why? Yes,
got a radio. What is the person by the door? What race are they?
If you stepped out, they are. They look to be elven.
Way to go, Whitney! Just brought it to that level.
Who speaks Elven? I mean, they may speak Common too, but.
I don't think I speak anything. Who speaks all the languages? Is that also our social person?
I don't know, but I don't have Elvish.
Well,
anybody?
Right, we can try in Common.
It'll probably be fine. Just go up and talk to him in Common, Michelle. I got 100% faith in you. I'll stand 5 feet behind you, though.
Great, thanks for the support.
I'm a team player.
Yeah. So what exactly am I asking?
We want to find out who we can talk to about the bidding process, what the starting bid is. Do we need to acquire a paddle? Is there a buy-in for the bidding? You said, any dumb question we can.
It's a closed bidding, so you will make an offer. You will put in a deposit to show that you can meet the offer that you put in. And then the highest bidder will receive the item, and the rest of the bidders will receive their deposit back.
There you go.
That is how a closed bid would work.
So we also should probably find out like what percentage of the bid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I currently have 13 GP.
And also, we should find out how long the auction is going on for.
I mean, sure. That would probably be helpful.
Yep. Because if it's going on longer, we wouldn't necessarily have to put a bid in now that we might have to pay again to get in here.
Yeah. Well, we can, then we can think about resources.
So I should ask how long the bid is going for, and who we need to speak to about bidding.
And the deposit amount.
And what the deposit.
And whatever else you think would be helpful.
We trust you.
Great.
You can do it with the power of friendship.
Of leadership, Michelle.
Okay, I'll go up to them.
Mm-hmm. They look at you as you approach.
I got mad respect for how this is going.
Hello?
What language are you speaking?
Common.
They spit at your feet.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn back then.
And no other languages that you want to try? No other languages that anyone acquired with a level up of ranks in linguistics?
How similar are halfling and elven?
Nowhere close to each other.
Okay.
I was gonna say maybe we could talk to one of the dwarves in Dwarven. I know that they probably speak like a different type of Dwarven, but that's how we got in good with the vendor.
That is how you got to here. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You can head over to one of the dwarves.
I will say hello in Dwarven.
Ugh. What a tongue to hear again. What do you want?
Do you know how long this auction's going on for?
I'm here for 2 more days. Assume that's when it's over.
Would you happen to know what the deposit amount is?
That's not my cup of tea. I'm not a person who's all about keeping track of whatever goes on here. I'm just here to protect this damn thing.
Fair.
Well, it's probably not even worth anything anyway. You should see some of the junk we get through here. You thinking about buying it or something?
Yeah, do you know who we'd speak to about that?
Whatever the person's that is in charge of it, whoever hired us. One of the elites is, I think, might be said in this tongue.
Do you happen to know where they are or how we could talk to them?
You gotta put in with that one. And they point over to the elf person. And as they kind of point, you notice like all of the elves in the room move their arms to rest on their blade. Until he like lowers his finger. They're the one you talk to get to get referred forward. Saw him spit on you.
Yeah.
Don't want to be walking up there using this tongue or any that's not the right one.
I'll keep that in mind. Thanks.
You, unless you want to piss him off. If you're down here and you're using that tongue, you may want to get yourselves a translator. Save you a lot of time.
Good point.
It is a good point. You're right. How much is it worth?
Why are you asking?
Because, I don't want you to lay any hands on that. And if I were to say you're laying hands on that, you could be in a lot of trouble. And as long as I make the cut big enough, nobody's going to argue with that statement. You know what I'm saying? So I scratch your back, you scratch my back. How much is my help worth to you? I don't need much. Just want to make it feel worth my time.
How about 5 platinum?
I'd let you take the damn thing for 5 platinum. I can't guarantee they wouldn't let you take. They'd let you take the damn thing, but I'd stand here and watch while it all happened. For 5 platinum. That what you're trying to buy? I was just asking you to pay me for answering your damn question, wasting my damn time, not looking at that damn thing because it's coming out of my check now. 5 platinum's a little ridiculous. You hand me 5 platinum, they're gonna think I'm trying to, like, work something over. Just a couple of silvers, all I'm asking for.
Oh.
Just enough to cover my time. Very generous, though. Don't go telling people around here you got 5 platinum on you.
Alright.
So what's it worth? I gave you an extra little tip there, so...
How about we just round it up to a gold piece?
Fine, I'll take it. You hand him over the gold?
Yep.
He smiles and pockets it. A couple of the other dwarves seem to look at you a little bit with furrowed brow, but they don't really make anything extra of it. And you can head back to the group?
Yep.
I thought he was offering to serve as a translator.
No, he said you'll probably want to get yourselves a translator. He was charging her.
Know who a translator is now.
He was charging her for giving her the information that they should get.
Right,
they should get a translator.
but like he doesn't know anyone that we could use as a translator.
No, I mean most cops you'd walk up to couldn't tell you like where to find a local translator. They'd have
Is he a cop or more like a security guard?
So, yes, I'm using cop because it's the highest level at which you might be able to get somebody that could do that in his profession. He is at the lowest level. So this is like walking up to mall security and asking them like, hey, can you get me a translator? And they're like, do I look like community services?
I'm assuming Frey fills us in on the conversation.
Yeah.
Well, my personal suggestion is we go back to our patron and relay this information on how everything works.
Well, you would have been relayed the fact that it's going to be 2 days before all these guards disappear. So you probably don't have that kind of time because it's a day back and a day back out. So you'll be at the end of the auction to cycle through. Because it took you quite a while to get here, and it would take you quite a while to get back.
So
Nobody has any sending, right?
No.
Way too early for that.
So then our goal needs to be to find a translator.
Yeah.
Well, where do you go? Who do you go to?
Who looks friendly?
No. Down here, everybody has sort of like straight faces, and there's not like a jovial atmosphere. It's a very kind of don't engage with. Everybody has kind of a don't engage with us kind of attitude that's moving about here. The nicest person that you met down here so far has been the guy cooking the soups.
If we go back to the main market, will we have to pay the fee to see it again, or
no?
No. Okay.
You won't be able to see it again, but you won't need to pay the fee to see it again.
Okay. Well, we don't really need to see it per se. We just need to have someone serve as translator.
Yes.
Maybe we should ask the soup guy if he knows anyone.
Well, he was a dwarf. We need to find maybe an elf.
Right, but since he works in the market, he might know an elf who would be friendlier. It's the only person we know that's been willing to talk to us. So.
True. Especially if we phrase it as we're looking for someone that speaks the Nancy tongue.
I'm open to other suggestions, but that's the only one I have right now. And we're gonna go see the soup guy then.
Okay. You can head over to the little shop. Back. What can I get for you? Yes, you started, perhaps finishing. That is how we do soup. That is how you must do words.
Can I get the same thing as last time and also a question, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Do you happen to know anyone who can translate the Nancy tongue?
Well, it's a common problem we have down here. Are you looking to sway minds, or are you looking just to have somebody get the job done?
Sway minds.
Sway minds.
Do either of you speak Dwarven, or is that like in common?
That's an out of character comment.
Okay.
Swaying minds.
You got a lot of coin on you then. Well, I could maybe put in a good word, but hold on. He'll walk a little bit away, or a little bit back, and he'll like pull on a lever, and like a giant metal screen will slam down in front of his little
shop.
Yeah, and he will come out around the side, closing and locking a door. And he'll walk a little ways down the way to another stall, chat with somebody for a minute, and he'll drop a couple of coins on the counter, and then that person will close up their stall and walk away from their stall to another stall, and then that person will come back, open back up their stall, talk a little bit back and forth, and then he'll come back to his and reopen things. All right, that'll be 40 gold.
Alright. I'll hand over the 40 gold.
See that big stone over there? Wait there. They should be there within the hour. They'll be late on purpose.
Is it an elf, or who are we looking for? Frey, can you ask him?
It'll be a drow. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we also have to pay the drow separately, or is the 40 include payment for him, the connection, and the drow?
Yeah, if you ask that, he'll tell you the drow will offer separately. To even get the ability to speak with the drow, or to have it decide whether or not they're willing to do work for you, is its own separate charge.
How much money do you all have?
So, I'm holding on to most of the group money that we found in the dungeon. So I have like 26 platinum, 54 gold, and a bunch of copper and silver.
Good to know.
All right. The four of you can wait over by the stone. And it's one of those things where, like, as you're standing there, you know how time feels, and like time, it feels like a certain amount of time. And at the point where all of you start to kind of feel like they're not coming is the moment that this like very like ornately decorated elf or elvish looking person will kind of come up towards the four of you and look you all up and down and then stop for a moment. And in halfling will say, it's a really basic disguise.
Gee, thanks. How you doing?
What are you down here for?
We need help finding someone who can talk to the elves because they think we're all not good enough.
Oh, that's
to speak with them.
cute. You call us elves. Oh, are they not telling the people up top about us anymore?
I'm sorry, drow. I don't always have the right words.
No, I've been worried about this for some time. For years we were portrayed as the ultimate enemy of the state. That it was our goal to poison and drug and undermine the establishment. That's not true. We like order. We want things to be proper and systematic. But of course, best if you can just forget that we all exist, right? We live deep under the ground. Just call us elves. It makes everything easier if somebody sees us. Sorry, I digress.
Okay, I can call you an elf.
No, I digress. I'm sorry. I have been dealing with this for far too many years. Centuries, if you will, and have become quite tarnished by it.
Sorry, so out of character, the people that Frey was trying to talk to were drow, not elves. Is that
yes,
right?
that is correct. This would be the
Okay,
first, like the first time this is being made clear to you that these are drow. And if anybody has ranks in knowledge history, they can give me a check. I know normally it is knowledge local, but in this case it would be history.
We knew before, though, that it was, the dwarves told us it was drow, so wouldn't
Did you
we...
actually get them called drow, or were they referred to as Nancy's?
I don't know. I mean, somewhere in the session it was referred to as drow.
I did not remember, so if I did, I apologize.
That was just you saying it out. Oh, yeah. I have drow in my notes from last time.
Okay.
But then you said elves this time, so then I wasn't
Well, I said elvish looking.
Okay.
I could not remember if I said drow, but so yeah, the knowledge history is unnecessary.
With the drow was how we started out session 10.
Yeah, but that was a out of character drow.
I can't. My brain is not that complicated of a landscape.
But yeah, we can forgo the knowledge history. But it is that knowledge history is enough. That knowledge history is enough to know that there is a suppression that they have done to try to keep the name drow out of people's vocabulary. When drow do come to the surface, they are treated as elves and just of a different variety. But there's no teaching about the drow. There's no teaching of the Underdark. It's kind of like left to be a not thing.
Well, I will explain. I will first introduce myself. I'm Eli. What's your name?
Diamantina.
Well, it's nice to meet you. I appreciate you considering helping us. So essentially there is an object up for sale at a closed auction that we went to, and we're trying to get more information about the bidding process, like how much of a deposit is required, like what percentage of the bid you're making you have to put down, when the bidding process ends, just anything else we should know. But I also don't know how we could put in a bid because they seem to think we're crap.
Yes, I would imagine they would. Let's face it,
Mean.
you come down here without speaking our language, without any means of speaking our language, and
I don't know how to speak other languages.
it's not my fault, is it?
It's not my fault either.
You're in a foreign land. If I were to come up there and not speak the common tongue, people would not wish to speak to me.
That's mean.
That's not true. I didn't speak the common tongue, and people were relatively nice to me. That's part of my backstory.
Well, aren't you special?
I suppose I am.
The rest of societies, that's not how these things work. You speak the tongue of the people around you, and if you don't, you are ostracized. I can make sure that things go well for all of you. But it does come at a price. If you are here about the item that is spoken about, I would assume that you have plenty of coin on you. But seeing the array in which you are, I think there's something more valuable that you are. I think you're the kind of people that find these sorts of things for people. And I will offer to be your translator for a favor.
What's the favor?
I'll call it in later. You just simply... And they procure a small, rolled up piece of paper and unroll it, and they write a couple of things down, and then turn it around. All you need to do is write your names here and sign here. Just a simple favor. I will call upon you when need be, and when I do, you will come and perform the favor. Very simple.
What if it's something I can't do, like you're saying, kill this baby?
The parameters of the favor cannot go outside of the realm of things which you cannot do.
Okay. And then I'll look to the group. Should I sign this?
All of you will need to sign.
Mysterious unnamed favor.
Have you all been talking in common this whole time, or
Halfling.
We're talking in halfling.
I don't speak halfling, so if you ask about the paper, I'm like, what kind of paper is it?
I would explain to the group.
I don't speak halfling either, so my whole dialogue was wasted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought all of you spoke halfling. She'll say in common.
Oh, it's a lady.
Yes.
Wow.
That's what they tend to be?
So Eli fills us in?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'll shrug and say, I don't mind helping them at a later date. I'll sign the paper.
Nothing bad has ever happened to anybody doing somebody else a favor.
If we're all in agreement, then
Yep.
let's do it.
All right.
All right, Steve, I want you to enjoy this carte blanche DM moment where you just got a party to just almost sight unseen sign a contract for a favor. So
not just a contract for a favor, a contract with a drow for a favor.
I mean, honestly, in the storyline, what else the fuck are we gonna do? We have no idea.
You could take the other translator as the option, but you opted.
Who's the other translator?
You don't know because you didn't go that route. You went this route. You could opt out of this translator. I always have lots of different ways that you can solve a problem.
Clearly, we do not identify these ways.
Well, here's the deal. I have an average wisdom score. I'm not, I'm just like, this is our solution to the problem. I just have to sign a piece of paper and do something. I want to do it.
Oh, I think it fits the party very well that they would be willing to accept it. I'm not saying that this isn't within, the character's parameters. I'm only arguing that someone saying to me that this is the only option is not true. I already listed at least 2 options. You chose the fancier one.
Who would have been the other translator? I didn't understand that.
So there were 2 I listed. I asked if you wanted one that was more persuasive.
Oh, okay.
Or one that would get the job done.
The persuasive one would be better for negotiations, so...
I feel the draw one will make for a longer and more exciting story.
I think we're all
I'm
going to die and not get the
100%
item, so.
going on that one.
All right. As the four of you sign this document, a chill runs down your spine.
Is it multiplying?
No, it does not multiply. It is a singular chill. And as it does, as the last of the signatures finishes, the drow flicks their wrist, and the contract seems to kind of disappear out of sight.
Just to be clear, the contract for the favor is in place of a payment, right?
It is in place of a payment. That is correct.
Okay.
Excellent. This will do quite nicely. I am of your service. Lead the way.
I guess we go
Pretty
back
excited.
over to the booth.
I don't know any drow. This is very exciting.
To the booth? Or where?
The booth where we talked to the guy to view the item, because we can't go back and view the item without 200 gold, but we can talk to the people
Sure.
about it, I thought.
You can go back and you can speak with them. They will tell you that is not their job, but if you go back to where you viewed the item, the person at the door can assist you in getting in putting in a bid.
Well, okay. That was
Do we
fun.
first want to talk about how much of a bid we're making, or how are we figuring that out?
Well, I think the first thing is to get the information on the deposit, like how much, like what percentage of our bid does the deposit need to be?
And then when the full balance would be due, also, right?
I assume that we bring the full balance when we
Yeah,
make the handoff.
Yeah, but
seems
we,
like a
we
cash
need to
and
know
carry
when
kind
that
of
would be.
organization to me. But we can ask that anyway. Doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, party leader, what do you think?
Sounds good to me.
I think either Frey or Narissa should be the one telling the translator what to say, since y'all have the best negotiation and social skills.
I'm just happy to be here.
Okay. The party can make their way to ask about how to make the deposit. And when they do, they will be immediately rerouted back to where they came from to ask about it. At which point the person will say, "Oh, it is." They'll act as if they have never seen you before, and
Jerk face.
"Oh, you wish to make a deposit? Splendid, splendid. Good to hear.
What DBs?
What is your intended deposit?"
Let's go. What do you think?
Well, my question was, what percentage of our total bid does the deposit need to be?
If you, Diamantina will look to you and say, if you have to ask that question, they're going to ask you to leave.
Okay.
You need to state a number that you think you can afford, not ask them what percentage.
Yeah, but we need to know, because we might not have all of it on us for the deposit.
I'll
I'd like
just
to
look at
confirm-
Eli and say, it's one of those things where if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
One should not speak a number that cannot be backed up with coin.
What do we? I'm gonna pull my compatriots aside. So what are we looking at in the kitty right now?
I have 13 gold.
And the party treasure? I know you just said it, but I forgot.
Well,
I have
here you'll only be setting what you're going to be paying. What you're offering is a bid. You'll give your deposit to a different person. These things are handled very uniquely here.
So what do we say? 500 GP?
Well, I was going to say for the deposit, I was thinking like, I don't know, 15 or 20 platinum. What do you guys think?
And then what would be the full amount? I have no idea what scale they're talking about. Like when Frey was like, "Oh, here's a tip of 5 platinum," and the dude was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" Like, I don't know if we're gonna
Well,
way under or overbid.
I think based on that we can. I think that maybe sets a little bit of the expectation of how much this thing might go for.
The drow will kind of sigh. You don't... What is your end goal in all of this? Are you looking to actually acquire this item? Or
Yes.
are you looking to do this the way I expect your kind to do it?
We're looking
What does
to
that
actually
mean?
acquire the item.
Oh, the way that you normally acquire... The way that your kind normally acquire the item is by brute force, taking it and returning it to your lands and declaring it yours the entire time.
I would prefer that we not have to fight for it. If we can acquire it through means of gold, then that is what we want to do.
How noble. It is odd to see one that speaks of wanting to do things so honorably and yet does not attempt to strike me down where I stand.
Well, I feel like that much harm is done if you make assumptions about people. You seem very nice.
If you would like, you can just speak a number here. They will write it out, let you know what your deposit is, and we can proceed to the actual person who is likely facilitating the exchange.
Let's go with your bid then, Narissa.
Well, that was how much for the deposit. You were thinking what, 500 gold total? Al?
Yeah, well, so I think that so 22. You were gonna bid. We were gonna put a deposit down of 20 platinum pieces, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 200 gold.
Yes.
Maybe.
Maybe. If it's 10 times that much, let's just be extravagant. Do we have 2,000 GP worth of in the
And
kit?
are we willing to pay that much?
I am willing to pay that much to achieve this goal.
Well, so my thing was, we can't go to Narissa and come back. I mean, not Narissa. I'm Narissa. We can't go to Rhyme and come back before the auction is over. But I was thinking, if we put as a deposit what we have on hand, we can always then secure the funding. Because
Or
we're
fight for it.
right. But I'd prefer not to if we don't have to.
I'm fine with your suggestion.
I say up it to 30 just for fun.
I don't have 30 platinum.
I have 20 platinum on me, so.
Okay. So 30 platinum deposit, and we're saying how much total? Because we're putting in a bid right now, and then
50
they tell us.
platinum, I think, is our maybe.
That's our bid, and they're gonna let us know.
Yeah, so if we say this is bid, then they'll tell us what deposit we'd have to give.
Right. So we're bidding 50 platinum. Okay.
Yes,
That
and
is-
we're gonna see where that leads up. No, 30.
Well,
Are we-
50 is the bid.
Oh, 50 is the bid.
Yes.
All right, let's see where it goes.
Okay. You can set your bid. The figure at the desk will write out a few things, or the stall will write out a few things on a slip of paper.
It's just ha ha ha.
And
Very
hand it over to Diamantina, who will hand it to one of you, whoever takes it.
I'll take it.
With it, well, she'll look at it for a moment first, and then hand it over, and then start leading you down a series of tunnels. Before we find out what's at the end of those tunnels, why don't we take a short break? See you soon. And so we return. All right. You are led down a series of corridors until you arrive at a door chiseled into a wall with a ornate series of decorated frames and a small sign on it with some writing in a language none of you can read.
Can I read the
winning.
paper that was written out?
No.
I figured. Okay.
We are winning at this module, guys. We are winning at this module.
There is a knock at the door by Diamantina. After a few moments, the door will open. Some words you don't understand will get exchanged. And then all of you will be invited in. Inside the room, there's a very large desk chiseled out of stone. A number of bookshelves that are kind of carved into the wall with a lot of books and sort of documents on display in kind of rolled out and bent backwards over strips of something are out to be seen. A number of signed documents are spread across the table or the desk in front of him, and he'll gesture for you to either stand or take a seat.
I will stand.
Take a seat.
How many chairs are there?
There are 3 chairs.
Oh, then I will stand.
But they exchange words for a little bit. The two of them exchange words for a little bit. And then the Diamantina will turn to all of you. Well, they seem a little underwhelmed by your bid.
What did they say?
They were really expecting a bid like that to be more of a deposit. They're wondering if you have perhaps made a mistake.
I see.
This appears to disappoint all of you.
Yeah, I mean, that's asking a lot.
Well, I mean, the thing is, again, we will have the funding at the time. What if we did 500 platinum?
One moment. They'll turn, discuss with the person for a little bit. Can I get some perceptions while they're talking? You guys will have some time for your eyes to wander, because it'll take them a little back and forth. Ray is staring at the wall, or the ceiling, or the butterfly flitting
I'm
around.
asking this strictly as a joke. Is it scent based?
It is not scent based. Or what is happening right now is sight based, but
Yeah.
So Freya's watching her little butterfly dance around, and I think Al looks at what Freya's doing for a moment and then notices Frey with the butterfly and also starts watching the butterfly.
I just thought Al had his eyes closed and was looking at the back of his eyes.
I'm easily distracted. I'm an excitable boy.
Eli, however, you'll catch notice that there are a surprising number of signed documents on the table. There's a number of things that look like a clear signature. Most things have a kind of clear, and most contracts have a clear indication, regardless of what language you look at, what language you see them in, where there's a point where somebody is signing. There are a very large number of contracts, just out in the open.
Meaning bids, I would assume.
Perhaps. It's hard to tell because you can't necessarily understand the characters on there, but there is definitely what looks to be big signatures at the bottom of them. But
do I see any numbers?
Give me a gauge real quick with your perception.
Oh, not with my gauge.
Or no, with your gauge. But I mean, your perception was high enough, you can give me a gauge. So the thing you notice about this is that there's, like, it doesn't click at first, but as you're looking over them, they all only have one signature on them. It's not like a document where both parties have signed. They only have one signature, and it's the same signature on each one. Or at least looks like the same signature on each one.
Like, I think one person has put in a bunch of different bids?
Well, if you're writing a contract, right? How many signatures should be on a contract?
Well, yes, both parties. I understand that, but
It's like a template, like they've pre-signed everything and then they fill in the information and then the person putting in the bid signs, maybe.
Perhaps. I'd say that's a reasonable thing to infer from the information in front of you.
Well, this is an auction service, right? So the forms would be standardized.
Perhaps.
so I'll let the party know what I've noticed.
After you do that, Diamantina will say, they say that this is a more acceptable bid. However, they are concerned because the bid has been switched, and they say that's not conventional. They're also a little concerned that I am speaking to you in a language they don't quite catch the tongue of. They're not familiar with most other languages in general, I can tell. I've slipped in a few other words that they haven't responded to in a few different languages. Which is a little unsettling. People in these positions usually have at least some grasp of the other languages when it comes down to these sorts of discussions. Maybe not a profound one, but enough that they shouldn't be fully thrown off by some of the simple words I've used in other tongues.
I see.
What do you think that means?
I don't know. Just strange.
Well, you could let them know that we are here on behalf of our mistress to acquire this item, and perhaps we simply forgot to put an extra 0 with our bid.
I'll see if that will work to smooth things over.
We represent a very powerful person.
No, we could just say our initial, we were doing that, we thought it was telling them what the deposit was.
They'll turn, speak with the person a little more.
We could just go, we're fucking stupid. We don't know what the fuck is going on. So if you could just cut us some
they could
slack.
also just say that even if it's more than what they expected to try and drive up the price.
It's true. It's a catch-22 there.
After a few moments, they'll turn back. They're understanding, a little more understanding of this. I think they believe you to be slaves. But that's more appropriate, I believe. You likely don't know the language, but have worked your way up to whatever level it would be to make this sort of arrangement. I am assuming you actually have the coin to back this up?
Yes, we do.
They are going to need that coin now. They want 10% up front.
Alright.
So I believe that amounts to the 50 platinum you were initially bidding.
Alright, so real quick here. Frey has 20, I have 26, and
I have 300 gold pieces, so...
Okay. So then we need 40 gold, right? To make up the difference?
That would be, yes, 40 gold would be 4 platinum.
Okay. Alright, so I'll hand over my 26 platinum as well as 40 gold, and then if Frey can hand over her 20 platinum
Yeah.
Work it over, party leader.
As you guys are like doing this sort of money exchange, the person will kind of raise their hand, and they'll like turn and start looking through a couple of things on one of the bookshelves, pull down a book, and start flipping through it for a moment. Can I get a perception check from everybody and a gauge check?
Both or just one or the other?
Both.
Okay.
All right, so that is a off here. All right, so nobody really gets a good sight at the book as he kind of pulls it down and sets it aside. But Eli, you get a very unnerving feeling as he pulls the book off the shelf. Like that feeling you get when you feel like somebody's about to do something that's not gonna the things based on the actions that are about to happen are not about to go so well. Is there anything you want to say to anybody, do with that feeling?
Tell the group like something feels a little weird.
Let them know we represent powerful interests on the surface world and they didn't want us traveling with a lot of cash to get mugged.
That's not a good idea.
No. Okay.
Can I ask, Diamantina, like, I don't know, this feels weird. Do you feel like something weird is happening?
What do you mean?
I'm getting a weird vibe from the one pulling the book down.
He'll like you'll see him like reach his hand out, say, and a few words will suddenly be exchanged, and they'll go back and forth, and then like the conversation will get a little bit heated. And then you'll watch as the person with the book, like, pushes hands back, and then starts, like, moving their hands.
During a spell.
Can I get a spellcraft check? Ooh, very good. Yeah, it's a little hard to recognize because they're not using words, but the hand motions seem very clearly to be some kind of, like, language spell, either tongues or comprehend languages.
I will convey that. I'll say I think they're trying to cast like comprehend languages to talk to us directly, perhaps.
The they will finish like moving their hands around, and then they'll look directly at you and start saying some words that you will not understand. Diamantina will look over at you all, at the four of you. Something is most certainly not right. You're right. This should have been done if they had this. This should have been done immediately, not now. None of you have the ability to speak this language.
No.
It's in everyone's best interest if we're kept in ignorance.
He'll stop the person, discuss for a moment. Can any of you potentially cast this yourselves?
I have no spells.
What spell is it?
I believe
Something linguistics.
Comprehend language.
I'm uncertain what this spell is. I'm uncertain how they even activate it. Clearly they
It's
failed.
definitely a bard spell. Bards should be able to cast it.
I don't have it on me. If it is a word spell, then I.
Does anybody have use magic device?
I do. I have 2 ranks in it.
Okay. You can give me a UMD check after a little bit of discussion. Double check this. That will sadly not be enough. Does anybody else have any ranks in UMD?
No, I do not. Shit.
Well, this will sort of create a bit of a stall as the drow behind the desk is unsure how to proceed. Diamantina will explain. They don't like the fact that all of you pulled your money from different places. If you were all supposed to be dealing with one person, each of you should not have your own coin purses. You should have come with a bag with the combined money in it. They believe this to be very suspicious. Though they seem additionally unwilling to not continue to engage with us, which makes the situation odd. They are not dismissive, yet they are also not willing to proceed. Any thoughts?
Perhaps we should bribe them?
We're
Well,
already charging them so much money.
I heard something and I didn't understand it. What was it? What was said?
I was
I
gonna
just said
say,
we're already giving them so much money.
I know, but we're kind of at a disadvantage.
Let's maybe. He stops what he's saying and just holds up a finger to you for a moment and turns back to the other person. They discuss a few things for a moment, and the other person seems to kind of calm down a bit. Just sort of closes the book and puts it back on the shelf. And then she turns back to you. Maybe we try this a different way. It seems like there is a lot of cloak and dagger going on here, and perhaps we don't need this. We are contractually linked to each other, so perhaps we can discuss in sincerity what it is that you're doing here, and why it is that you want this item, and that you don't have the money to be able to acquire it. Maybe not all the details, but just a general rundown as to what got you here.
Shall I say?
I would suggest you do.
There is, in fact, someone on the surface who wants this item and has basically hired us to obtain it. We do not have.
How did you know the item was here? This is not a. We do not publicize the dealings that go on in the drought in the market, in the undermarket. How would you become aware of such an item being available for sale?
We went to find it, but the people who have it here found it first, and so we had to track down where the item went. And we had the help of some dwarvish people who had come with us.
Likely not dwarves, but okay. All right, perhaps...
They were not, but...
Perhaps there are things that we can discuss. They'll turn, talk a little bit more, and the person will say a few things back, or will like they'll exchange a few words, and then Diamantina will turn back to all of you. They are... You say that this is an item that you knew the location of, yes? Do you know if these other drow knew of the location prior?
I think so.
They were,
arrived there.
Yeah, they were at the location when we arrived there.
Yes,
So
but
I do not know if it's the same drow who are selling it who are at the location.
down in these parts, there is a certain way about things that these things are handled. If, in order to keep up a balance between things with the surface, if there is something that was stored here by a known party and has been taken that is not their own, that creates a interesting situation.
You mean it's like if it's not sort of rightfully theirs?
Yes. Do you know the inhabitant of the place that you were looking for this item? Do you know if the inhabitant had passed, if they still live?
I'm not sure that we knew who it belonged to. Do any of you all know?
No, we've not been good for asking questions.
Seemed almost like a cult was down there of some kind. With all the weird tapestries and statues and everything.
Tapestries, you say?
Yeah.
The Diamantina will turn again, and they'll chat for a little bit. They seem interested in an offer to the four of you. They would rather not be in the way of whatever might come of this. Our society wishes not to engage in the petty squabbles between your kind and our kind's proceedings that don't have to do with us. They're willing to accept your offer. And help you facilitate your arrangement as best they can. The coins, please.
Okay.
They will take the coins, count through them, put them in a chest with the document, putting an extra marker on there, and then putting it in the box, which will again, Eli, seem unusual because there are all these signed documents that are on the table, on the desk. And yet they took the paper that was brought in and put it in there with just making a marker on it.
Can I ask Diamantina what if she knows or can see what those papers are?
Yes. Diamantina will kind of glance down as the person is going about a couple of things, putting the money away, or counting the money, and That's odd. These are not the kind of... These are the finalized forms. These should not be pre-signed. They're supposed to be signed in the presence, and there would not need to be so many. There are several of the same document on the table, on the desk right now.
Are they
Does it look
scanning?
like sold it to a lot of people?
It's not finished selling. This is... It's as if they've prepped each and every document for each and every bid. Yours obviously has not been prepared yet, but the rest of them are prepared documents. It's like It's almost as if this were an open auction.
Can you see what the other bid amounts are?
In the mid tens of thousands of GP. Your bid will most certainly not be the highest. But but that's not what concerns me here. They're all signed. Why would they need to be signed ahead of time?
I'm not sure.
Sounds scammer-tastic to me.
That's my thinking. Why did all the cameras shift?
I don't know.
That's annoying.
I mean, we just want to get this item, get it back to our,
Shifted.
our lady, and leave you guys alone.
Should we be worried that we're not going to get the item and they're not going to return our deposit?
That is my concern. They start exchanging a few comments again. This time it's very heated, as it happens. And it's at this point that during the conversation, there's a point where the door will swing open, and 2 guards will step into the room.
Well, this is getting interesting.
The guards are instructing you to leave, Diamantina will say. However, something is not right. I am asking for your bid back, and he refuses to return it.
What were they supposed to give us in return for the money? Like something documenting our bid, or?
I'm not sure how they handle this, but everything thus far has been off of what it's supposed to be. The guards or the mercenaries are like yelling back in some sort of, again, unknown language. Our contract is becoming quite more valuable each time that we have to do these things. And Diamantina will pull out a few coins from pouch and explain will state a few things, and the guards will suddenly put down their weapons and close the door, standing inside. After a few more minutes, Diamantina will turn and explain. This is not the person who's supposed to be facilitating this trade. Which is good news that we know this. It was a good eye that you happen to notice all the documents were the way they were. I'm not sure if this was done on purpose or not. There are a number of people to make this trade with, and how do I put this? Down here we have people who you have to receive a special license to do this kind of work, to be this kind of middle person. It's not something that everyone can do.
So how do we get our money back and find the right people?
Well, they're, at this point, much more willing to offer their money back when they found out they hired the wrong guards. you're going to have to lose a bit of that money though, in making sure the guards are paid off. But I would suggest you change your plan.
Seems like the indelicate way is the only way to go.
No, I think quite the opposite. I would be willing to bet that this choice is not inadvertent. I think that they chose a person they knew could not actually facilitate the trade, so they could take the money and run. An invalid trade would allow them the ability to get away scot-free, sell off the item and deal with the consequences afterwards. Sell off the item elsewhere to better bidders. I don't know exactly where the drow is, and this person is not willing to break that. But I can tell you there are very few places that someone would be willing to take an item like this. But it would not be anywhere down here. My suggestion is this. Why don't we take a moment and think this out? I'll be right back. And so we return. Diamantina gets some information from the man at the desk, who seems like almost as if they're pleading for a moment in the situation. After a bit, they'll turn to you all. Well, I know where the drow that got this item from is going to be in a few short hours to review the bids that have come in. I am happy to take you to the arranged meeting location.
How would we actually get a bid to that drow?
Oh, I don't think you'll need to make a bid here any further.
Okay.
Is this not what you wanted?
No, this is absolutely what we wanted. Thank you.
You wanted a direct resource to get the item. Perhaps you can negotiate with them directly. He'll lead you to a place. Some time will pass. And the drow will come into the room. Unfamiliar that any of you are who you are. He'll look to the 5 of you that are there.
So this drow doesn't look like the ones we fought either?
No, this drow looks... Well, you didn't see the ones that you fought.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The drow will look to the 5 of you, rather confused, and utter something to all of you in a language that you clearly don't speak. Your translator will say something back, and he'll look a little concerned. At which point he'll go for the door, which will not open. There's something clearly pulling on the other side of the door against him. I suppose now he'll say the Diamantina will say in common, you can give up this charade. We can all give up this charade and we can chat freely. The drow will look at the other 4 of you. What's so special about the 4 of you?
Sorry, that's not Diamantina?
That's in common, yes. Different vocal tone. It is the other drow.
I'll look to Frey.
Do we reveal ourselves?
What would you reveal? I don't even know who you are. I've never seen any of you before.
We are interested in procuring the item.
Yeah, so you should be doing things the way that I set them up. You shouldn't be here, keeping me trapped in this room. How did you even know I was going to be here?
Well, those unauthorized people that you had taking money were more than happy to tell us where you were.
Sad that you caught it. It would have been a victimless crime. The people that would have been giving their money away, they would have never needed to worry about it. They could have just believed a bigger bidder came along and made them a better offer. And made a better offer. And that all the money just got mixed up in the shuffle. And that poor man would have gone where he belonged. Straight to prison.
Well, Unfortunately, we did discover it. So we're here to negotiate for the actual item.
Well, I suppose I can work out an arrangement. How much?
How does 50 platinum sound?
Suppose better to get what I can while I can get it.
Indeed.
Well, he'll take a bag off of his shoulder. That he has like it. It didn't look like a bag at first. It looked like he was wearing a cloak, but as he takes it off, it kind of like reveals it to be a bag. And he reaches in and places the item down on a table in front of all of you.
Can I use detect magic?
Yeah, you can use detect magic. It is.
I want to do all the same sensory perceptions that I did before. It
is most certainly magical. And Eli, you kind of walk up to it and get real close to it. And at about the same time, like Frey is looking at it, notices that the magic isn't quite as strong as you remember it being. Eli, you'll notice it's not emitting that tone.
This doesn't seem like the same thing we saw before. Where's the real thing?
Oh, the one I have up on the display is a facsimile. I would not want to leave the real thing out where people can get it.
So the real thing is less powerful?
No, the one that is out there, that is not more powerful. This is more powerful.
Doesn't feel that way to me.
How about a better deal? What if I cut you in?
We need the item.
There's a lot of money that you could make on this. A lot.
No, just the item, thanks.
Look, if I just get the money, I can get it to Megiddo. The archivists, they'll pay a fortune. I'll be set for life. With that kind of money, I could even leave this country if I wanted to.
Yeah, no, just the item. But the real one.
How about another deal then?
How many deals can one guy have?
I don't stab at least one of you with a lethal dose of poison. You all get to take the item. We'll declare you the winning bidders. You give me that 50 platinum and a head start.
As long as we have the actual item?
I will make sure you're declared the right proper winners. I will go with
I
you.
think we need to have the actual item.
As the actual winners, you will receive the actual item.
I don't know, it just seems like there's so many scams happening.
As long as
How do we know
I...
you're not scamming?
At this point, don't have a lot of options aside from the one threat I think I can fulfill. You feel like he's being serious? That
I want to do a gauge check, but I have to free the cat first.
No problem. Yeah.
That's not better.
You think that he's probably not lying about being able to poison you, and at this point, like, the jig is kind of up. The best he can hope for is to get away before everything falls apart.
Does he mean the head start is for him to run
The
away?
head start
or
is for him
us
to get away.
Okay.
He's just attempted to scam a whole bunch of people. And so he wants the ability to leave while the trade is going on, and hopefully never have to come back.
Well, as long as we get the actual item, I don't care whether or not you have a head start.
I'm sure he'll get what's coming to him.
Well, let's, I guess, go. Get your guards to stop pulling the door. D will knock on the door with the correct series of taps, and the door will open.
Oh, she has a nickname now.
I'm just using it because I'm tired of saying the full name.
Diamantino.
Then they'll proceed down the hall back to where the person was, make the arrangement, sign off on a document just to make things formal. And yeah, well, then I guess this is it. You're the winners. The room is guarded, so the item will be safe until tomorrow when the winner is to be announced. You just need to buy yourself, kill the time you need here. In the meantime, I believe I was offered a head start.
Yes. Safe travels.
See ya.
Thank you. And he will head off. Where are you guys? How are you guys planning to pass the time? You have an evening you'll need to get through.
We'll need to find somewhere to stay, right?
Yes.
I feel like we should ask Diamantino for a recommendation.
Yeah, if you ask that, Diamantino will set you up with some things, but it's going to cost you 10 gold a night.
For all of us? Or
Per
per
person.
And does she have any cheaper accommodations to recommend?
This is the accommodation that she has available and feels comfortable with considering the situation you have placed her in. At this point, she assures you that assassins will be attempting to kill you. If you're in a very poor location, you will most certainly be killed.
I think we should, I don't think that Diamantina has led us wrong yet. I think we should pony up the gold.
I really don't want to stay in a shitty place in the Underdark, honestly. I would prefer to be as safe as possible.
Okay.
All right.
I can pay my own 10 gold.
I will also pay my own 10 gold and live my dream.
Yeah.
I can as well.
You all can rest for the evening.
Can I order some? Do you have the underground cows in your Underdark, Steve?
Sort of, but not here. You're not deep enough. There, it's not really. It is, but it isn't. Yeah, I think I remember what you mean, but there are a number of different things you can get, but a lot of it would be hard for you to order right now. So you will have food delivered to you that is different than you've seen before.
Okay.
I mean, imagine sort of traveling to a foreign country, somebody puts a plate down in front of you and assures you that it is edible and safe.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of hoping for, that kind of like thing.
Yeah.
You know. A lot of mushrooms, you know what I mean?
The evening will pass, and in the morning, the middle person will take you to the location, show the document that each of you will be required to sign, and take you into the room with the item. The guards are standing there. doing what they do.
Great job, guards.
And yeah, who wants to take the item?
I'll take it.
Okay.
You go, sister. You lead this party. You lead this party.
I'm pretty sure Frey uses they, them, and is not a sister, FYI.
I don't know.
You can
You go, Dragon.
you can take pick up the item. And
Well, also this language doesn't have pronouns anyway, so I would be adopting whatever I've heard Frey describe themselves as.
and you can take your leave. I don't believe any of you has anything else you need to do down here.
No.
Buy a nice gift for our drow friend.
You have a nice gift. It's a contract.
Nice.
And
Uh,
owed favor.
Ooh.
So female drow, huh?
Yeah.
In the history of D&D, that has never ended badly.
Along your travels back, item in hand. Why are you playing with her glasses, Kate? Pick the weirdest things.
Somebody
to play with,
has
buddy.
to.
Everything's a toy.
Everything.
Everything's a
Especially things
toy.
that don't make sense. Along the way back, as you are traveling through the spidery forest, the area where there were all the webs, you'll see a familiar face come rushing up to you. I forget. Hold on, I gotta double check this. This was a very unexpected. It will like start trying to make some motions, and it will start like speaking a couple of things. Trouble, help.
Who is it?
It is the Ettercap.
Well, let's go help the Ettercap.
I'm gonna gauge.
I also feel like we just need to get this fucking item back.
You can choose not to help if you'd like.
Can we ask what is wrong?
Home.
How far from our home are we?
About halfway.
So, like, how many hours left?
You've got a few hours left before you'll get back. You'll basically get back by evening. If you stop to do this, you don't know how long it could be.
What's going on with your home?
Dangers.
What?
Like someone's attacking you?
Yes. Dangers.
Does it seem sincere?
Yeah.
What do we do?
I don't think we can help right now. I think we need to stick with our mission.
Well, we can get it back and then go and follow up with him until we've got the thing, but now we got to go help the Ettercap.
Yeah, but it might be too late by then.
Well, we got to try.
We could always do the favorite thing of splitting the party, and some people go back and some stay in hell.
No.
Yes, let's do it.
The Ettercap was our enemy. I mean, the only reason it backed off is because we were stronger.
I think, unfortunately, we probably should just continue to head back.
But we should bring the Ettercap with us.
The
Yeah,
Ettercap
let's just
will not
march.
go with you.
March it through town.
It will not willingly come with you.
We're gonna have to. I wish you could tell us what was going on.
Yeah, it's very vague. Dangers.
Its ability to speak is very limited. It is not a very intellectual creature.
Well, we're gonna have to drop this piece off, and then we're gonna have to go. I feel we should go post haste to help the Ettercap.
I don't feel like we really owe it any help.
Yeah, that's fine.
It was eating people.
Well, either way, it sounds like you guys are not going to
You
aid.
can tell Rhyme at least that and see
Yeah.
if there's anything she wants us to do.
Yep.
There
All
you
of
go.
you
Yeah.
will get back. We'll make it back to town the rest of the way, without any other issues, and get back to Rhyme. We shift this. You will arrive in Rhyme's office with the object for her. Well, I assume that you're here for successful reasons this time.
We are
Yes.
indeed.
You have the item.
Yeah, and I'll pull it out.
She'll reach out with her spectral hand, and it will bring it over to her. And for a moment, her eyes will glow a deep blue. Huh.
Is this it?
Did you have it in your hands at all times?
No.
Mm,
Is this not it?
No, the magic is far too weak and easily identifiable.
I roll my eyes.
Of course it is.
Sounds like we're going to Megiddo.
Megiddo, you say? You are certain that's where they're heading?
Probably not. Why would he actually tell us where he's heading? I will recount the story for Rhyme.
No. The most profitable place to bring this item would be to Megiddo. I was surprised they wouldn't have tried to make that trip. They would need quite a bit of coin to get there.
They were basically scamming people at the market to raise that money to get there.
Getting
And we
pocket
found-
coinage won't get you there. You'll need quite a sum to get there safely anyway.
We're putting down pretty big deposits for the item.
But they shouldn't have. Give me exactly what happened. You can give her the cliff note. You can explain the story to the situation to her, and Well then. I guess you're off to Megiddo. I need that item back, and I can pull a few strings with the archivists to make sure that things go in our favor. I should warn you, though, that the path is still rather dangerous. She will, like, with a wave of her hand, like, have a map that kind of appears in front of all of you. If the map wants to load, there we go. You see these hills here?
Mm-hmm.
She'll gesture to a point on the map. These hills have well, a bit of a common problem. Well, vehicles can often get down the road fairly quickly. From time to time, there are a small group of giants who may create issues for some groups that seem easier pickings. They will be able to block the road quite well, and make your continued passage very difficult. Have you all dealt with giants before? In any capacity?
I don't believe I have.
Not particularly surprised. Seems like all of you have been within
I
the
mean,
city for
giant
quite some time.
spiders.
Not quite the same.
Oh, then no.
Well, then I should make sure you're well taken care of for this trip. I'd rather not have any of you ending up injured or not being able to make it back because you're not properly given the equipment necessary. Why don't we do this? Each of you'll rest. I'll make sure the appropriate items you have are ready for you in the morning, and you can set out on your way.
Excellent.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Oh, we should also probably tell you about this Ettercap we ran into on the way back. He was saying there was danger in his home.
Oh, yes, most certainly there is danger in his home. Everything will be fine.
Okay.
What's happening there?
Remember that thing we discussed last time?
What thing?
The thing where you don't ask as many questions.
Oh, that's hard. Sorry.
Yes, I know.
Boy, I understood that thing. I got
I'm
what
just
she was
curious.
Curiosity, as they say, killed the cat.
But something else brought him back.
No.
Not asking questions brought him back.
Very good.
But satisfaction brought it back.
It's
Maybe if
not
I
the
get
way I heard it in
satisfied.
my village. My villages don't ask no questions, don't end up
Ah.
dead.
This is why you are here, Al. Well, I believe we're finished here. Pick up your items. They will be in your lockers in the morning. You should be well prepared for your journey. If there's anything else you need, there is a... they'll basically she'll take out another writ, write down something on it. Here is another 2,000 gold in other resources you can acquire for yourselves. Things that you feel like you might need for the trip, personally.
What would help us with giants? Do you have any recommendations?
I'll cover the items that will help you with giants. The 2,000 is merely for your own personal needs.
Why?
Generous. Thank you.
Fancy entree.
You're welcome.
like snacks?
Whatever you wish to spend it on.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Good travels.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for bringing you the wrong thing.
Next time that you make a deal with somebody, double check what you have first. That way I will be less disappointed. This would have happened...
How should we know that it's the real thing?
I'm just gonna leave the room because I don't see any point in this continued
Yeah.
questioning
Yeah.
of this
Investigating
dragon
it
person.
perhaps before you leave with it, if you know what it's supposed to be, would help. And considering from your story, you set eyes on it and in fact inspected it before, I'm very surprised that I got back a facsimile when you already once caught one.
That was my mistake. I'm sorry.
And Dan take that
This
one.
is a normal thing to happen when you put your trust in the
There we go.
slippery type that is those of the underbelly of this world. Do not trust them again, and this will not be an issue. They use every option they can to take full advantage of people. I'm just glad to hear that none of you signed a contract with them.
We
Yeah.
did.
I'm not in the room. I already declared it.
You what? You're joking, right?
Yeah. Well, no, we needed a translator because they wouldn't speak with us in any languages that we knew.
I see. Well, I suppose I can sort these things out too when the time comes. And the details of this contract were?
That we would do them a favor whenever they asked.
And you read through the document?
Yes, 100%. I'm not there.
Yeah, you already said you left.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not interested in telling her any information at all.
You read through the document, right?
Through the document.
A huge billow of cold air exhales from her nostrils,
Fantastic.
causing little crystals of ice to fall onto her desk. Well,
Knew that was gonna happen.
when the time comes, you'll need to let me know. I will need to put you on leave. Do at the very least make sure you let me know when that happens. Sadly, as of yet, I cannot more directly communicate with all of you to make sure that you're not making decisions that might, in the long term, be difficult for us. But I understand that you are new to this kind of work. And I understand that you are what I had available to choose from. And you cannot always be satisfied when you have limited options. So you make the best of what you can. Well, I suppose this will be dealt with in its own time. Are there any other surprises I should need to know? You didn't happen to encounter a devil along the way and offer it your spirits, did you?
No.
No.
Good. Well, you're dismissed.
I will salute and leave.
Thanks.
As you close the door, you can feel a very cold burst of ice spray out from the last bits of the thing, chilling the skin of whoever it is that closes the door. And yeah, you can go on to rest for the evening. And I
Wonderful.
think that is where we will end for tonight. Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Bye.